Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Haro and this is Maeya TV. We are here with the wonderful Leon Jones, here to talk about his music. Well, Leon, first tell us, how did you get involved in music?
It was kind of interesting because, I grew up in the South, never really thought of myself as being a singer or a musician or anything like that, just a hard-working, guy. And I joined the military, and that actually didn't work out for me, so I decided I'd just get out and move back home for a little while. And I ended up getting married, and I moved to New York. And New York, there I worked with my wife's brother in a club called Bay Street in Long Island, New York. It was out of Montauk. And we did a lot of live entertainment out there, people coming in, James Brown, Whitney Houston, the Ramones, country and western singers. So we did pretty much every genre of music. And, I would be there helping to manage the club and for like when the bands would come in and set up for sound check and stuff like that. So it just kind of was interesting to see what artists had to go through, musicians and singers, to perform a show. So it was interesting and it was entertaining for me, and just to see it from that close up. So I was excited about it, the job, and meeting all the faces, these artists and stuff, Rob Bass. So like I said, we did a little bit of everything. So that happened, that lasted for about two years. And then my brother-in-law, he sold the club, I think to Bon Jovi, if I'm not mistaken. And so he went on to manage a couple of bands that he had at the time. And so for me, I ended up moving back to North Carolina. And when I moved to North Carolina, I just happened to one day see my nephew and some of his friends after one of them had gotten shot. We were supporting him during his time of healing. And so, there were gangs forming at the time, and I just felt like I needed to do something to keep my nephews from being recruited into gangs. So I decided to open a studio. And in doing that, they spent a lot of weekends there at my studio, raiding the refrigerator and putting together songs and stuff like that. So that lasted for a while, and then there was a guy named Barry Webb who was a jingle guy. He did a lot of jingles for the radio stations and for TV stations in North Carolina, and he had 2 teenage daughters. And so he just thought it was a great thing that I was doing to work with the kids and keeping them out of, these gangs and whatnot. So that's how I basically got started. As far as singing, well, during sound check at the club, myself and the DJ, we would play around a little bit in the DJ booth on the mic, and I remember singing, we were singing Secret Garden. And I did the Barry White part. I want to dance with you, and he was like, oh, wow, man, you got a nice little deep voice and stuff. So, but I didn't take it serious and didn't think twice about it. And then after opening the studio down south, I guess you could say one night I had one too many to drink. And the band that I was managing at the time was a jazz band called Love Zone. And they did a lot of instrumental music, and they were playing this instrumental song, and I don't know, I just got a vibe from it and just went up to the microphone and started freestyling. And so I didn't even know they were recording me. And so the next day, we were at the studio and everybody was just kind of hanging out and stuff, and they said, hey, got something I want you to hear. So they played it. Now this is a cassette, so I'm letting you know we're going back a little bit. This was a cassette tape they recorded me on, and they were playing it, and I was like, wow, man, that dude sounds a little bit like me, just like that.
So you never heard yourself recording?
I had never heard myself, except for in the shower,
I mean, you're not recording.
Everybody's great in the shower, but, and so just to hear myself being played back on anything, I had never heard that before. So they played it, and I was like, wow, that dude sounds a little bit like me. And they all looked at each other, that is you. And I was like, what? When did I do that? Last night when he was intoxicated. So it sounded pretty good, you know, and they said, well, you know, you can sing if you want to. It's just that I didn't know anything about genres. I didn't know anything about, you know, how to pitch or, you know, stuff like that, or even the key to sing. And that was my biggest thing, was my brother, you know, he was a musician and a singer. And so he said, you know, if you found the right key to sing in, you could sing. And I'm like, what's a key? I'm thinking the key goes in the door, right? So he's like, no, this is what I'm going to do. One of the songs that I know you can sing, I'm going to play it for you, but I'm going to play it in the wrong key. So he played it, and it was killing me. I was like, oh man, you know, my voice is all scratchy and stuff. He said, no, it's supposed to be like that. So he said, now I'm going to play it in the key that you sing in. And he played it in the key, and it was like, didn't even take any effort. I just went through the song, you know, the parts that I knew. And he said, now see? I said, so that's what a key is. Singing in the right key. So that was, you know, I got helped a little bit along the way, and then they would bring me in, you know, to sing a little bit with them and stuff. But I've always been stage shy. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of hard to get me to go to do it. And but anyway, you know, just sticking at it and sticking around them, I started writing, you know, because I've always been able to write poetry, you know, even in grade school, I would write poetry, and my teachers would always say, you know what, you're pretty good at this. So, you know, after the bands broke up because of different reasons, I don't want to go into all of that, but, you know, just, I had one musician that was there, him and I was really close. And his name is Jermaine Stevenson. He brought me a cassette tape, here we go again, with a timeline. And he had put together 10 instrumental songs on it. And he said, I want you to write to this, because I think you can sing to these instrumentals. And I did. And that was my first CD, and it's called The Number One. And there's a little story behind The Number One, because that's what my name means. And so I wrote to the CD, the cassette tape that he gave me. And that's actually my first CD. It's called The Number One. So that's how I started with that. And then my brother had told me, he said, you know what, you should do something where you sing and rap, because you can do both. So my second CD came out, New Old School. And I'm singing and rapping in that CD. So we're up to CDs now. Okay? So yeah, so it's kind of cool, you know, to do that. So that was I guess a turning point, because I was really getting into music, you know, more so than just therapy at that time. Mm-hmm. You know, because I was in a car accident in 1997 and broke my neck. Oh. Well, I didn't break it; they did, the car. And so trying to recuperate from that took about 10 years. Mm. And so the second CD was more so therapy. And just to write something to it, and then I would go to the studio and put a little bit to it. But here in California, when I came to California, I met a guy named Phil Maines. And he's an engineer and also a musician. So we kind of fit each other's situation, because he's not much of a singer, I'm not much of a musician, so we would work together, putting together different songs and stuff like that. And you know, and at that point I still wasn't ready to put myself out there to let people hear what I was doing. And then, you know, every once in a while someone would nudge me, you gotta let people hear this stuff, man, you know, you can't just keep it in the closet. So that was the beginning of my genre, mm-hmm. which is called New Old School. Now, what is New Old School? Now, we have old school, right? And most people have heard of old school music, the R&B, the soul music, the Four Tops, the, you know, the Spinners, the Temptations, you know, all of these people, you know, even Whitney Houston, James Brown, they've heard of all that. But I said, you know what, I don't want to do that, because the market is being flooded with all that and everybody can relate to it. I want to do something a little different, but I still want to stay kind of close to that genre of soul and R&B, and maybe add in a little rap. So I developed something called New Old School. Now, what is New Old School? New Old School is basically, I'm going to take you back then I'm gonna bring you back something old, then we're gonna make it something new. So that's what new old school is, and that's how I describe it.
What do you like add to songs to like make them a little different than
Well, I think even though the music may sound or have a date stamped on it, say, oh, you know what, that sounds like what you call them back in the day, you know. But what I'm writing about is current stuff. Okay, so the music might be old school, but the lyrics is new. So it's new old school because I'm combining the both together, and it's kind of doing something a little different. Because I feel like when you got the market flooded with the same stuff, you know, and then all of a sudden you say, you know what, I've created a new genre, like when indie music came out, you know, people's like, what is this indie music, house music, you know, and all that stuff coming out, you know, so you grab your own, you know, people, your fan base, and so that's kind of what was happening. People say, wow, you know what, that is a little different. It kind of sounds like this, but it kind of sounds new too, like what they're doing today. So that's kind of how the new old school, and I've stuck with that now. That is my genre. So when people hear my music, they can say, that's Leon Jones, you know. And I've had people to say that, you know, where someone was playing my CD that I had given them, and it was like, oh, that sounds like Leon. You know, people that know me say, yeah, that's Leon, you know. So I've been pretty proud of that. And, you know, I've had some setbacks over the years. We talked about my car accident. I've also had both my shoulders reconstructed. Is that kind of getting, you know, but I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, then of course COVID came, and COVID kind of threw me for a loop also because I isolated myself for 2 years. Now, that wasn't a bad thing because I was able to work on my third CD. While I was isolated and, you know, confined and stuff. But I got the vaccine and I ended up with myocarditis from the vaccine. They didn't have a lot of information on it at that point in time, so it's because it put too many antibodies in me, so I couldn't recover from that right away. My heart swollen and I had to just drop everything, but thank God I'm back, and you know, I just finished my third CD. My last song on the CD is called Move Something, and you know what they say, if you don't move it, you lose it. So what I want people to do is just get energetic about the music. I want them to get out and move something, dance, do whatever it is you want to do, you know, to the music. The song that I'm really proud of before that is called That's Why I Pray. You know, That's Why I Pray is telling myself no matter what happens to me in life, I'm going to beat it. You know, with God's help, I'm going to beat it. And so there's another song called Open Up Your Heart, and Everybody Knows, which is also something that I love to do. I love to do ballads. Ballads is kind of like my signature thing, where I'll sing a love song and just make you fall in love. Not so much with me, but whoever it is, yeah.
So your experiences, like car accidents, COVID, have had a lot of influence on your music.
A lot of it. I like to talk about not just, it's not so much things that have happened to me. Those things allowed me to have time to write because I couldn't do anything else. You know, I was in the healing process. But I like to sing about positivity. There's no cursing in any of my songs. And I also like to sing about love because I think a lot of people don't have the same type of love that we had back in the day. You know, I mean, relationships are at risk now. You know, divorce rates up high. You know, my parents, they stayed together until they died. You know, when they said death do us part, they meant it. You know, and it wasn't easy, but they hung in there and they raised all of us kids, and it was a wonderful thing. You know, so but I just like to put that out there where people can say, you know what, this guy right here, yeah, you know, he's not trying to destroy anything. He's not trying to break us down. He's not, you know, offending anybody. You know, he's just singing about love, and we love that. And that's one of my favorite things to do is sing a ballad, you know, and sing a love song for people because, you know, I think you can touch people in a way where they're like, wow, you know what, that touched me, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a beautiful thing to see a reaction from people, especially from me, not thinking that I was going to be a musician. You know, I was in insurance, well, still actually do that a little bit for 40 years as a broker. and that's how I earned a living, but music was my side thing, and it was my hobby. And I tell people, even today, music was my golf. I couldn't play golf worth a darn, so I said, well, my golf would be music, and I just want to see where it's going to take me, now that I've become a well-known local artist here in the Los Angeles area, San Diego, and also I've performed in Mexico, I performed in Hong Kong, and also in Thailand. I did real well over there. So it's just been a nice journey. It's been interesting, but I just want to kind of keep going with it to see where it's going to take me. So if you're out there and if you can remember Leon Jones, I have a website that I'm starting right now. It's called Leon Jones Music. So you can go there and listen to some of my songs. I don't have everything uploaded. I've done about 20 videos on YouTube, and they're doing well, my music on YouTube and Spotify and all of that. So it's coming along. Now that I've gotten my health back to where I can really get out and start, doing stuff the way you're supposed to. And I do a lot of songs I do a lot of entertaining, performing for a lot of fashion shows, a lot of nonprofits, because I like, helping people, if I can come in and be a part of something that's positive, that's helping people.
So you're becoming well known, like the local live music.
Yeah. People love bringing me in to do songs, and I do cover songs sometimes. I'll do Barry White. I'll do Louis Armstrong. They love for me to do those types. I can do Lionel Richie. So I have a little bit of range, and I think people like that. And then they request stuff. I just did a really nice award show at the Rooftop in downtown, and this month I got the GSFC, the Global Female Entrepreneur Society. They're always calling me to come and promote their shows and stuff, and well, I guess something coming up for the Steppers group. I did a song for a Steppers group too, so yeah, it's just kind of rolling right along. So I'm really excited about some of the music that I have for my next CD coming up, New Old School Volume 3, and it's been an interesting ride, I guess I could say that.
So I know that you have a strong relationship with this women's entrepreneur group, to the point that you were making a book together?
Yeah, now, most of those women, matter of fact, the lady that, her name is Roby Motter, that she's the founder of the GSFE group, and just so happened I was performing at an event for Galina Kapani, and I just happened to be sitting beside her. And we were talking, and she had an autographed book. She gave me an autograph, one of her autographed books, and we were just small talking. And then all of a sudden, they called me up to sing. And when I came back to my seat, she was like, "I did not know you could sing." So she found out I could sing, and then immediately she said, "Hey, I got a thing coming up, an event coming up. It was like 6 months into the future. I would love to have you as one of my performers." So I agreed to it and went out and sang. And like now, just about every time they have a show, they see if I'm available to come out and sing. Because I don't have a band, so I can kind of fit into little small spaces and stuff like that. So, but like I said, it's been a worldwide. Most of the women there, and it's an international group, they're global. And so a lot of them have published books, their own books. So they're talking to me about getting and helping me write a book about my life and all the things that I've been through. And so that's kind of, a big thing for me, and since they've already published their books, I'm excited about, telling my story. And so that's kind of, what's happening right now, along with, just performing again since I've recovered from my myocarditis. So,
can you tell us, you've been through a lot in your life, both like that reactions to vaccines, car accidents, just through singing. So how do you like recover your voice in these situations?
Wow, you know, because after the accident, my neck got broke, and they actually went in here and put knee bone in the back of my neck. So I could not sing a piece of a song without my voice cracking, and it just staying with it. You know, I just kept singing a little bit and singing a little bit, and I got finally, it took 10 years actually for me to actually be able to sing one whole song without losing it. And so that's basically what it did. I just had to reinvent myself, and my range is not as much as it was before. So I had to realize my limitations as far as, you know, what I could do. I started out singing like the bass baritone type, and then kind of moved up into the soprano, alto, and all that stuff. So, but it took a while. It took a while. I never thought I would get back to that. And then once I was able to sing a song, then my next goal was to sing 2 songs, and then 3 songs. You know, and so that's kind of how that all kind of came about. You know, just working hard, and you know, keeping in mind that I had to do this on my spare time because, you know, being a full-time broker, you know, I still had to pay bills. So, but it's been something that's kept me on track, kept me, you know, motivated, and I really, you know, thank God for, you know, allowing me to get back to where I am right now. So now I'm ready to do something for as many people as willing to listen to me, and hopefully they'll enjoy it. That's what I try to do, music that I think people can enjoy. I know some people say, hey man, you ought to curse a little bit in your music. I'm not going to curse in my music. I'm sorry, it's just not what I do. It's not me. I wasn't brought up in that era, and I just don't like doing disrespectful music. And even in my very last song, I say in the rap portion of it, stop producing music that causes mishap. You know, because that can affect the whole generation. You know, music is a very powerful tool as far as getting a message out to people. And there's a lot of great singers out there that have done a lot of good music that have affected people in a positive way. And there's a lot of people doing music that have basically flipped people's lives in the gutter. And so I don't want to be responsible for that. I want to put something out there that's positive. If you don't want to listen to it, fine. If you do, then at least you're going to know that, you know, I'm not trying to disrupt anything that you're doing positive. I want to add to that, and hopefully you can enjoy it. And you know, that's you know, and that's a good reason for me to do the book. I mean, I want the book to be about my downfalls, but you know, a lot of people, they give up, you know, too easy, you know, and you just got to keep going. You know, you can't let life just swallow you up. You know, I've seen a lot in my years I've been on this earth, and I've seen people give up too soon, you know, and then, you know, they miss out on what, you know, was really there for them. And so for me, I'm going to keep going until the day I die, and then, you know, we'll see what happens from there, you know. But the music industry is an interesting place to venture into, because there's so much music out now, and it's so many things out there that people are trying to, you know, take advantage of, especially new artists and stuff like that. So you have to be really careful, you have to be patient, and you have to be dedicated. And that's what I, you know, want to do. I want people to know Leon Jones, you know, when they listen to my music. I want to have my own unique sound, and I want them to know me. Okay, and so that's where I'm at.
Do you have any advice for musicians who might be like where you were, who going through troubles and trying to get through it?
Well, you know, my thing is if you're out there and you're trying to make it, you know, there's going to be highs and lows. You know, if you have confidence in yourself, and you have to listen to critique. You know, I've had people say, yeah, your music sucks. You know, I've had people say, oh man, that's really nice. So you got to kind of balance it out. You know, you got to keep working on your craft. You got to keep it, you got to keep working at it, because nothing starts off where it should be. But if you keep working at it, you can get it to that point. And I think that's a wonderful thing to start. You know, it's like, you know, baking a cake. You know, you're just going to throw the flour in there and mix water and you got a cake. You got to, you know, know the temperature in the oven and all this other stuff. And you gotta, let people taste it after you bake it a little bit. So you gotta be able to take criticism and you gotta be able to learn from what you're doing and let it make you better at what you're doing, And remember that everybody is not gonna like you or your music, but you're just looking for enough people. And so that right there is enough to keep you going. It should be, because don't get offended if somebody says, I don't like your sound. Look at Beyonce. Do you think everybody likes her music? I don't think so. I've never bought any, but she's okay. She's the Beehive, and any other guys out here and stuff. So, but the people that do like it, you want to, make sure that you, continue to have a relationship with those people, and that would be my advice. And continue to work on your craft. You just got to keep at it.
So where could our audience hear your music?
LeonJonesMusic.com. Just type that in and it'll take you to some of my music. I haven't uploaded a lot of it. You can go to YouTube also and listen to my music. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm uploading music as we speak on Spotify. So I'm kind of all over the place. iTunes, I'm there. If you type it in, you might hear my old CD, you might hear the new one, you might hear just a few songs, but out of all those places that I just named, you can listen to what I'm offering. My new music is on YouTube. I've done 20 videos, and Move Something is my latest creation, and I want the world to start moving something. We live in an obese nation, and I want people to work out and just kind of feel good about themselves. So that's what Move Something is all about. Just do whatever you got to do, and so that's it.
Well, thank you so much, Leon, for joining us. Thank you to everyone watching. Please go listen to his music.
Please.
And bye.
All right, guys. See you out there.